Hey Aries, this is your monthly reading for November 2023. This is for Aries sun or rising signs. So these are kind of the more extended ones. I apologize, these are coming out a couple of days later than I intended them to. But here we are. So we're going to get into, let's see, which deck do I want to use for you guys? We're going to get into the beginning, middle, and end of the month. Take a look at a particular challenge that feels of note for you. And then we will be looking at any kind of spiritual advice, guidance that comes through to assist you with that process. All right. So if this is your first time joining me, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. These are the monthlies that I do, obviously, but I also put out bi-weekly readings, and I also do astrological highlight videos as well. So you can always check those out. All right, let's get into them. Into this reading here. All right, Aries. So to focus this is always, as always, let me just mention this for any of you who are new here. This is a collective reading. So obviously some months it's going to really resonate. Maybe there might be months where it doesn't. If this is your sun sign, maybe go check out your rising sign to see if that resonates more. The best way that you're going to get like really accurate and specific readings for you would be one-on-one readings. But I also watch collective readings from a couple readers myself. So enjoy. So to focus this reading, we're going to take a look at like what lens are we looking at this through? Like what area of life is this connected to and bringing into focus. I find it really interesting that it's the 9th house for you. So it's the house of exploration. More than that, it's a house of higher learning. It's a house of belief. So having to do with like your worldview, could be your political views, or what kind of, I don't want to say religion, but what kind of belief structure you have like spiritually. Any kind of, if it's higher learning, we're not talking about like high school type of thing. We're looking at maybe college, or we'd be looking at any kind of specialized study that you're doing, any like furthering in that way, and also long distance travel. So when we're talking about exploration, we're talking about how are you expanding and widening your view, your perspective, your understanding of the world. So this can be mentally, this can be like physically actually going out and traveling. So however this applies to you, I usually pull that like one of these cards just to give you a sense of how you can apply this or where you can apply this. But if while I'm doing this reading, you feel like, oh man, this really feels like it's related to, I don't know, work or a relationship or something like that, then take that and apply it there. So we start out the beginning of the month with the 6 of Pentacles. Middle of the month, we're looking at the 5 of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacles. And then the last card for the month is the 3 of Swords. So interesting vibe. The challenge that we've got is like the 5 of Wands, and spiritual advice that we have coming through is the King of Swords. Let's get into this, Aries. So 6 of Pentacles here at the beginning of the month. So something in terms of like evaluation that you're looking at with regard to like, are things feeling reciprocal? Are things feeling balanced in the give and take between yourself and maybe yourself and a relationship, a person that you know? This could be maybe between you and a teacher, or between you and your colleagues that you travel with, or that you connect with from afar, like that are off in another country. Whatever it is, that there's some kind of connection or something that you're evaluating about whether you are giving too much of yourself and it's not really feeling like you're having that energy reciprocated, and so you're feeling like you're just kind of over giving, or like the person is just like taking and taking, or the company or whoever it is that is on the other side of this is just like there's a lot of taking and not really a lot of giving back. Or you could find yourself on the opposite side of that, where you're maybe starting to reevaluate things and notice that you are in a position where maybe you need to start consider being more reciprocal in these connections, or whoever this is related to, right? So there's some kind of connection between yourself and another person, yourself and an organization or something like that, where this is a theme that's really up for you. Sorry guys, it's kind of the end of the day here. It's been a busy couple of days, so bear with me. I drank a little bit more caffeine to keep me going through these. So So yeah, so just like there's something that doesn't feel quite in balance, that's bringing your attention to it, that's needing your evaluation so that you can bring that back into balance. And I think connected to that, and the continuation of this story is in the middle of the month, we have the Five of Pentacles showing up, and there's like this feeling of like, perhaps you might be feeling like it's all on your shoulders, or like you're all alone in this, like you're shouldering the burden, you're kind of like out in the cold, it's all on you. Those kinds of feelings. Or it can be perceiving that you have a lack of the resources that you think you need to do whatever it is that you want to do. Generally with this card, when it shows up, it's showing up to kind of point out to us that we might be in a certain way of perceiving the world or our situation that isn't necessarily so, right? And not to say that you won't have valid feelings. Perhaps you do have valid feelings for why you feel like you're shouldering it all, or it's all on you, or you feel really alone or isolated, or, you know, or like you feel like you don't have everything that you need. And so you feel at lack, or you feel like the victim in a situation. So perhaps there's a reason that feels valid, or there are reasons that are valid for why you feel that way. However, when this card shows up, it's like, hey, it's not necessarily that is what's so, right? Like that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's so. There are ways for you to reach out to community, to go inside and get some help, to touch back in with people and get the kind of support that you need. Like you can find stability through connecting with others in that way. And then we come into the last part of the month, and yeah, I know it's not the greatest card, so we're gonna definitely be, I think I'm gonna pull another card for your spiritual advice, but you know, Three of Swords. A lot of people see this and they think of the heartache card, you know, like, or heartbreak. And while, yes, depending on where that's placed, it can be that, it's also really just pointing to feeling disappointed, you know, like something isn't turning out the way that you wanted, something you really had your hopes on, maybe something that you've put a lot of time, energy, and attention into. And maybe you're just noticing that, you know, through the eclipse season, you might be coming out on the other side of that and kind of going, you know what, like, I think I'm realizing that this is not what I thought, or I'm putting in too much energy, or I'm not feeling things are reciprocal, and I feel kind of like out on my own, and it feels disappointing. And sometimes, you know, it's here for a season and not forever, and there's a time to just allow ourselves to feel that disappointment and to move through it. And it's easier for me to say, being, you know, not connected to whatever your situation is, you know, from the outside. And believe me, I had a really rough eclipse season, so I can totally relate to that in particular. And, you know, the best that I can say is it's like, all right, it's just it's understanding the situation, one foot in front of the other, and knowing that sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to move through those experiences and to feel it through and start moving to the other side of it. So for whatever reason, connected to all of this, the more, you know, obviously we're going to have a lot of different challenges that can come up at any point in a given month. That's a long period of time. But the Five of Wands is showing that it feels like one of the main challenges that seems to be coloring everything is that there are these conflicting desires, right? Almost like you're at an impasse, or you feel like you're at this kind of crossroads where yourself and other people, or yourself and another person, it's like you have very conflicting desires about, or wants or needs about how you want something to go, or how you want it to like move forward. And so that being a really big challenge, right? And the part of the spiritual advice that's coming through is the King of Swords, right? And so the King of Swords shows up to say, hey, this is like, take a step back and maybe think about this from a more philosophical perspective. So, you know, maybe being a little bit more, I'm not saying to not feel your feelings, but sometimes we need to move more into a state of logic in order to have the kind of clarity that we need to have to communicate the things that we need to communicate, right? So that we can be true to ourselves, right? That's part of what's here, being true to ourselves, speaking speaking the things that need to be spoken, but doing it in I don't want to say measured, but in a way where more diplomatic, where it's more diplomatic, but you're still speaking what needs to be spoken, right? Getting the kind of clarity that you need. Sometimes you have to be able to set the emotions to the side for the moment so that you can kind of zoom out and gain a different kind of perspective to get that kind of clarity. I feel like I want to pull one more card just to round this out, because these are some hard cards, right? So Just want to give you guys a little something extra for that. Yeah, so it's like, it's just there to like show you that there are other opportunities. While it may feel disappointing, while you might have felt like in a place of lack, or like your desires are conflicting, or things are not balanced and things aren't reciprocal, and you know, might have all of these feelings of disappointment around that. Despite that, there are other options, there are other opportunities that you can feel into. So, and also returning back to the things that feel like the dreams that you have for your world. Choose another one, choose another cup, and decide to pursue that, right? So just because one thing has been quite disappointing doesn't mean that we can't still reach for the other dreams that we have. And so maybe revisiting that place of like daydreaming and visioning and contemplation, and you know, like what else it is that you want in this particular area of your life. So I hope that that feels helpful for you guys. I will have the astrological highlights out also a little bit later than intended as well. This end of this month, just this last month, was pretty gnarly, so yeah, it's just a little bit late coming out, but those will be out, and so will the bi-weeklies and the astrological highlights. So thanks for your time, thanks for being here. Remember to hit the like button if this was helpful in any way, because it does really help me with the algorithm as I'm growing the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, and why not hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos like this on the horizon. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.